all morning. The point is, we still haven't decided what we're going to do.
It is so hard to think with no sleep. Thank God Ace is in Europe. It gives us some time.
Not much. Not much time. He's expecting a call from us. If he doesn't get it the next time that phone rings, it's liable to be him on the other end.
Somebody else can answer it, because there's no way I can lie to anyone about this, much less Asa.
We shouldn't lie.
Of course we shouldn't lie. This isn't the kind of thing you can tell somebody on the telephone. Now, it'd be different if Becky was here, but Becky isn't.
Well, why don't one of you go to Venice?
Sweetheart, you and I should really stay here in case something comes up with Becky. But how about you?
Sure, I'll go, because I know how I'd feel if I was in Pa's place. You know, he loves Becky more than he's ever loved anyone.
The problem is, she's not here.
So?
Well, what do you think Ace is going to do?
He's going to be on a first flight to Tennessee, just like I'd be.
Exactly. And Becky asked for a few days' time.
And you and Clint, you agreed to that?
Yes, we did.
Why? You know, if Pa was down there, he would turn this whole thing around. I mean, like that.
Oh, that is where you are wrong. He just might make things worse.
So we ought to deny him the right to fight for his own wife?
This is not the kind of situation that is going to be won with a fight.
All right, what if it was Viki down there? How would you feel? I know how I'd feel if it was Dee.
If a frog had wings, he wouldn't bump on the ground.
Now, if someone got in your way, or mine, the way we're getting in Pa's right now, that man will be an enemy for life.
That's the risk we're going to have to take.
Oh, man, I don't believe this.
All right, just hold it, both of you, right now. There's a reason we agreed to give Becky time.
Which is?
Oh, she's so frightened right now.
About what?
Her biggest fear is that Clint and I could be telling the truth.
What is so hard about that?
Honey, if she accepts that as the truth, that means she has to give up everything that she knows, her whole life as she knows it, down in Tennessee. And that life is very safe and very comfortable for her right now because of Jesse. She's in love with him, or at least she thinks she is.
That's fine. You know, that's just fine, isn't it? So your idea is to just leave her down there with some boyfriend she's met?
Well, wait a minute. If we try forcing the situation, we could risk losing her altogether.
Okay, that's something for Pa and a doctor to decide. They're the ones that decide that, not us. And I'm not going to take the time to go to Venice. I'm going to get him on the phone right now.
No, you can't do that, Bo. Please wait.
No, we've waited enough.
No, please. You have to be calm about this, Bo. Please. This is for Asa's sake and Becky's. Believe me. Let me try one other thing first. Phone number. I'm going to try and call her.
Sweetheart, do you think that's wise right now?
I don't know if it's wise. We're all scrambling around a little bit, but at least it's better than calling Asa.
Oh, come on.
No, now listen to me. Becky's had one whole night to think about this. I'm sure she's done nothing but think as well. So maybe she's made a decision. Maybe she had a breakthrough of some sort.
A breakthrough?
Well, it's worth a try, isn't it? At least we'll keep the lines of communication open. Maria?
Yes?
Maria, this is Victoria Buchanan. Good morning.
Good morning, Miss Buchanan. I had the feeling that I wasn't going to be hearing from you for a while.
Well, it's just that I've been talking with the family, and look, we understand how difficult this is for you, but we've been trying to decide what might be the best.
Well, Jesse and I have been talking about it and trying to figure out how the best way to be to handle it.
Well, you know, we can help you do that, too.
Maybe, look, I need a little more time, like I told you.
But the thing is, if you came back here and maybe had a look at things and talked to all the people who mean so much to you...
You mean like Asa Buchanan?
Yes.
He's your husband. You love him, and he loves you.
Look, Miss Buchanan, I don't know anything about that. All I know is I need more time, and Asa Buchanan is about the last person on earth I want to talk to right now.
Oh, please, listen to me, Becky.
Look, you promised me at least a few days. I don't want to talk to anybody except Jesse in that time, so please don't call me again, okay?
But when can I talk to you?
I'll call you. I'll call you just as soon as Jesse and I can figure out what to do. Goodbye.
Oh.
Well, she said that she and Jesse are figuring out what to do. She was a bit strange. It's like Jesse has some sort of a hold on her. Maybe it was wrong to leave her down there with him.
Absolutely, especially if she's in some kind of trouble.
Oh, now, come on. I didn't mean to say that. I really don't know what I mean.
I know, but if she is, if it's the truth that she is, shouldn't he know immediately?
Is that all you can think about, Asa? What about Becky? Clint, you saw her. You saw her face. She's confused. She's frightened.
Viki, you're the one that said that things sounded a little strange.
I know I did. I don't know what I mean.
All right, you know, we're grasping at straws right now. What we've got to do is just think this thing out sensibly. Just hope that Pa doesn't call.
The more I think about it, the more I think we made a big mistake by coming back to Llanview without Becky.
What could we have done? She asked for time to make up her mind.
How can she make up her own mind when she has that Jesse fella influencing her to stay there in Tennessee?
Well, honey, I'm not any happier about this situation than you are. But it was very obvious that she's on very shaky ground. And I think if we had forced her to come home, it could have been very harmful for her.
Bo tries calling her, she wouldn't even speak to him.
Of course she wouldn't. She doesn't know who he is.
Well, I just wonder. Very simple young woman who unfortunately has come under the influence of two people who have very strong personalities. And, honey, whether we like it or not, they are going to have a lot to say about what she decides.
Becky and Maria are the same person, Clint. Honey, that simple, trusting little country girl lived with me for a long time, remember? I watched her grow up. I watched her mature and become a wonderful, strong woman. And I don't care what name she goes by, Becky or Maria. She's the same person underneath. There's no way she's going to walk away from her responsibilities.
Fine. What about that pair in Avery? Clover and Jesse? What if they brainwash her?
Oh.
What if they just simply make off with her to God knows where?
Oh, honestly.
Wait a minute. Clover has tried once already to take advantage of her. And, sweetheart, I don't trust anybody in the town of Avery.
Well, I'm not really surprised at that, considering most of the time you spent there, you spent looking at the wrong end of the shotgun. Honey, I think you're being too hard on Jesse. I really do. He was not part of that little plot of 9 lives. In fact, I feel rather sorry for Jesse.
Sorry?
Yes, I do. He is head over heels in love with Becky, and I think you have to give him credit for what he did. He told her who she was. He told her all about herself. He brought her to the tavern to see you, and he didn't have to do either.
Oh, well, makes him a big hero.
Yes. He could have taken off with her there and then.
Yes, which is exactly what I wish we had done with her. The sooner that young lady is in therapy, honey, the better off this whole family is going to be. Now, being admitted to a psychiatric clinic might be a little rough at first, but...
You send her away when she needs us the most?
Honey, if she gets full-time care, it'll probably help her get her memory back that much faster.
It's the worst thing you could possibly do to her. To isolate her could turn her away from her family forever.
Well, I'm just trying to think of what's best for Becky.
I know you are. But you have absolutely no experience in these matters. And I do. Believe me. Therapy is marvelous, but it is a long and a very painful process. Honey, what Becky needs, believe me in this, what she needs is love and caring and support and confidence. And you and I are going to see to it that she gets that. Hello?
Yes, Mrs. Buchanan.
Becky, yes. This is Maria. I'm sorry, Maria. I'm so glad we've heard from you. We've been very anxious.
I'm real sorry about that, ma'am.
Becky, Maria, have you come to a decision? We're all hoping so much that you'll come home right away.
Well, actually, I still need a little time to think. I promise I'll try to make up my mind by tonight.
Tonight?
Yes, first I wanted to ask you a few questions, if that's all right.
Yes, of course.
Well, I've been doing some reading about Asa Buchanan in some old newspapers. Haven't really liked too much what I found out. All those marriages and how he treated his kids. Are those things true?
Well, Maria, I certainly can understand your concern. Asa's a very powerful man, and powerful men sometimes make their own rules.
Well, it's not real fair.
Listen, whatever you read, that must be very old, right?
Well, yeah, these papers were pretty old.
Yes, and people change. And incredibly enough, Asa changed. He's a completely different man now, and I'll tell you why. Mostly that's because of you and your love. You see, Asa has a side to him that is so good and warm. You really brought out the best in him, Maria. He loves you so much, and he's been so distraught and so miserable without you. That's because you and Drew mean more to him than anything else in the world.
That's really the truth.
Oh, yes. Believe me, you and Asa have a very happy, a very special marriage.
How's my little boy, Mrs. Buchanan?
He's fine. Really, he's fine. He's such a good baby, too. You know, he's almost 2 years old.
Who's taking care of him?
Well, a dear family friend, Delilah. She's very loving with him.
Delilah, wasn't that the woman who was married to Asa once?
Yes. Yes, she was, but she's still practically a member of the family, and she's wonderful with Drew.
Well, I guess that's okay.
It's okay, but it's not the same as having his mother there.
What's Drew like?
Oh, he's such a sweetheart. I mean, he's 2 years old, so he's into everything, but he's basically such a good little boy, and the whole family just adores him.
Nice to have a picture of him or something.
You wouldn't really need a picture if he came home.
Right. Well, I appreciate it, Mrs. Buchanan. Thanks a lot for your help. I'll call you back later. Bye-bye.
Well, Maria. She read about Asa somewhere. I did my best to reassure her. I don't know if it worked.
You did fine, honey. What'd you say about coming home?
She's going to let us know tonight.
Well, I sure hope her answer is yes. Because if it isn't, I'm going back to Avery and get her.
Yeah, I know. The only answer.
Viki, I have to talk to you. Tina, did you just get home? Why?
Nothing. I was just wondering where you were all afternoon.
Oh, I had an appointment, but it was a complete waste of time. Listen, you have to help me figure something out. And I'm going to be just straightforward with you about this. It has to do with finding my father, and I know that bothers you.
I will do what I can to help you, please. Delilah, why have you gathered the staff?
Well, I thought they might want to welcome her home.
That's a very nice gesture, but I think it might be a bit much. We'll see.
Okay.
We'd all like to welcome you back, Mrs. Buchanan.
Oh, Miss Buchanan. Oh, good Lord, are you alive? Oh, Sarah, it's really you. Oh, Becky, hi, how are you? So glad to see you. Oh, no.
I'm sorry. I'm Delilah.
Mrs. Buchanan, Gerald has missed you so.
Adam is very kind of you to have arranged this welcome. It's a terrible ordeal. I really do. Better she was alone now. They can all welcome her tomorrow, I think. Thank you.
Please.
Oh, it's a miracle. It's an absolute miracle.
I'm sorry. I think I did something wrong. I knew that you didn't remember, but I...
Delilah, you were probably hoping that she would remember everything when she got back in the house.
Yeah. Like I was hoping. So far.
Any glimmers yet, Maria? Sorry. Becky?
Well, I can't believe I ever lived in a house like this.
Yeah, me too.
Well, honey, don't worry about it. Take your time. Training for recognition probably won't help. Oh, I'm sorry. I'm Delilah Buchanan.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't introduce you.
Jesse Wild, man.
Jesse befriended Becky and has been an enormous help to her over the past few months.
Oh, I'm pleased to meet you.
This is my friend, I guess.
Becky, he's grown so much, you won't even recognize him.
That's what I'm worrying about, too. Delilah, right? Vicky and Clint told me about you, but I'm real sorry. I can't quite place you. There seem to be so many things I can't place in my head right now.
Try not to get yourself excited.
I guess I was just hoping it would all come back to me. How can I possibly face my little boy if I don't even know what he looks like?
Well, Becky, maybe it will come back. Why don't we get through and bring him down?
No, please don't do that. Please, I hate myself if I didn't recognize my own son. Just give me a little bit of time, okay? Drew until you're ready.
Would you mind very much if we were left alone for a little while?
I'm real sorry.
No, that's all right. Don't apologize. We'll be right outside.
I think we should get Drew and carry him right in that room.
No, Clint.
Oh, honey, I know you're all for having patience, but the longer we wait, the more she can withdraw. Now, I felt her slipping away from us in the living room.
Yes, she's terrified.
And that terror is pushing her closer to Jesse. He makes me nervous as hell to begin with.
Why?
Why? Because she's clinging to him and not to us. Now, maybe that's normal under the circumstances. But I got the feeling that as long as he is around, she's going to fight getting her memory back.
That's entirely possible, and there's absolutely nothing we can do about it. And if we try and get Jesse to leave, she'll resent it, and that won't help at all.
Yeah, well, I want to talk to that fella, and I want to find out what he intends to do. You know how Pa's going to react if he gets home and finds Jesse hanging around here.
Honey. Is Becky still in there?
No.
Yes, she's in there. It amazes me seeing her like this.
Oh, I know. I told you it would be shocking.
I try to put myself in her place, but I can't. I just want to shake her and wake her up.
Yes, I know what you mean. I thought the same way myself.
Well,
it has to be more frustrating for her than it is for us.
Are we going to let Asa know? I really think that's up to Becky and her ability to handle it.
Honey, I think we have waited too long already. Now I want Pa told tonight that she is alive and home.
How are you feeling? Is it better?
Yeah, I feel a little bit better. It's okay. I'd like to see my son now. Maybe we could bring him on downstairs. I'm not sure my legs will carry me up.
Oh, sure. I'll go and get him. I know he'll be so happy to see his mama.
Jesse, on behalf of the family, I want to thank you for everything you've done.
No thanks needed. I did it because I love her.
I know. I know how rough it must have been on you, Tim.
Well, my pain ain't much compared to what she's going through.
What are your plans?
Well, I don't rightly know.
Well, were you thinking of staying around Llanview?
I'm thinking of staying as long as Becky needs me. Why, you think I'm in the way or something?
Well, I think the situation is kind of awkward and
If Becky tells me to go, I'll go. But not until, and not unless.
So Delilah's really been a godsend while you've been gone. I don't understand, Mrs. Buchanan. Why would my husband go off to Europe and leave Drew without a mother or a father?
Oh, Becky, at first Asa didn't do anything. He sat in his house for weeks and weeks and weeks and did absolutely nothing. Never let Drew out of his sight. And then, well, we feel that he threw himself into his work with a vengeance almost to get rid of this grief. So now he's after some offshore drilling rights in the Adriatic.
If he thinks that's more important than his own son?
No, he doesn't. It's just that, well, Drew's so young. He's handled this better than Asa has. Asa hasn't been able to deal with it at all.
Well, I hope Drew remembers me. Could be kind of strange. Me not knowing him and him not recognizing me.
Becky, I told Drew that you were home. I think he understood.
really weren't sure it was going to work. Oh, I knew the minute I saw him. It all came back. It was like some wall that had been there went away. And there it is. It hadn't all gone yet. I remember all of you. Still kind of hazy, you know. Not real clear, you know. Understand?
Yeah, you're saying you don't remember everything yet.
Look, I can't get a real grasp on anything, although I know that I was married to him. Isn't it incredible, Jesse?
Yeah, it's wonderful. Everything will come back soon.
Now, this little boy may be happy to see his mommy, but I think he's a little bit tired. Even though I hate the idea, I think you better let him go back to sleep. Would you like me to take him out for you? Yeah. Why don't you do that? I love you. I miss you so much. More than you'll ever know. More than I knew. How much can you piece together? Do you remember being in an airplane with Ace? Oh, yes. Yes, we were going south. Where were we going? Where were we going? Yes, it was west. Where were we going, though?
Well, mainly you were, Asa was trying to avoid Dee Dee and Bo's wedding.
Oh, my God. They must be married now.
No. Well, they postponed the wedding because Bo joined the search party, of course. And then well, out of grief, we all thought you were dead.
Asa never believed it, Becky. That is, not until Evelyn and Lou Maddox claimed that they had you hidden away in New Mexico.
My God, how did you know about that? Clint, they did have me locked up in New Mexico. They had me locked up in a room, drugged. Seriously, seriously, if it wasn't for him, I knew Becky. Lisa and Bo were there. They were at that house. There was no sign of you. That's when Asa finally had to believe that you were dead.
Asa was the man in the window.
I guess I rescued you from your own husband, Becky. See, I thought she was in danger, so I slipped her out of the house when this man showed up.
I saw him through the window and thought he looked so familiar, but I didn't know I was so scared and confused that we just ran away. Dear God.
Becky? You know me?
Yes, I love you so. Buchanan, I made a whole lot of money for you and your record company.
You certainly did. You know what? I thought I lost my main meal ticket. Oh, you don't want to take you right over my knee and just proud you scared us. You know what? As soon as Paul gets back from Venice, this family is going to have the biggest, best reunion that anybody's ever even heard of, okay? And then right after that, of course, we're going to put you right back in the recording studio.
Oh, okay. I'll come back out. I will come back from...
See, there is a God in that.
I want you to be my friend. What is that?
He left a little while ago. I think he felt a little awkward, a little out of place.
That's the reason that I can remember you what did it.
Oh, girl.
I tell you, it might be the end of February, but it sure seems like Thanksgiving and Christmas all rolled into one.
Story, well, no. Really, I can imagine, because when we were in there, Ace was ready to string both of them up because we knew they were lying. So I guess this Evelyn just decided to admit that the whole thing was a scam just to get rid of us, you know?
I still don't understand why Ace isn't clear, or I don't have a clear picture in my mind, you know?
Well, maybe when you hear his voice, that'll do it.
Well, I hope we're going to call him.
Yeah, we sure are.
Or is this going to be a shock for him?
Yeah, you can bet on that.
Are you up to it, Becky? Well, I don't think it's fair to him probably to keep a secret any longer.
You're darn right. That's great. Come on. Get him on the phone. That's if we can get Dennis there, huh? That's right. Listen, here's what I'd like you to do then. Leave him a big note that says to call the family